Good afternoon, all of you. How are you? I hope I am clearly visible and audible. So, I welcome you to this session, Popular Previous Year Questions for SNAP 2021. We are preparing for SNAP 2021. I will talk to you about General English because I happen to be a VARC expert. You know me, I'm Nikita, right? So, let's begin. But before we begin, just one thing that I should tell you. Tomorrow after the exam, we'll have a detailed exam analysis. Okay, so at 2 p.m. we'll see you where we'll talk about everything, the expected cutoff, how the paper was, okay, what would be a good attempt. All of those things we'll discuss with you at 2 p.m. tomorrow on our YouTube channel. Okay, so do join us. Good afternoon, Akhila, Sluggish Life, Varsha. Okay, what I've done today before I begin, I have put on timers on each question. Okay, so depending on the kind of question it is, it'll either have a 30-second timer or a 1 minute timer. Similarly, I have 15 questions for you today because the general English section is going to have 15 questions. So we'll attempt it as if we were in the exam, in the sense that for each question we are going to stick to our timer, okay? And in all, we are going to attempt 15 questions. Again, the idea has been to introduce a variety of questions to you, okay? So we'll do varied questions today. All right. Good afternoon, Suraj, Pallavi. Okay, so let's begin. Try to stick to the timer. Okay, I have given you ample time. Okay, so in all, for these 15 questions, I think I have given you 10 minutes, which is enough. It's more than enough for your general English section. Okay, all right. So let's begin. Our first question is an analogy question. Let's start. Yes. So this is your timer running on the left. I think all of you figured out the answer by now. Not difficult vocabulary here, which is a good thing. Analogy questions can become complicated when I introduce difficult vocabulary words there. That was not the case here. Here you just had to rely on your logic. Okay. So option D is what all of you say. Absolutely correct. Option D is the answer, right? It matches the logic of the question. Ink is put in a pen, right? And then you use the pen to write on paper. Similarly, color is something that you put on a brush and then you use the brush to draw on a canvas, to paint on a canvas. Okay. So Shweta, no need to get demotivated. Okay. CAT is not the only exam out there. I'm sure you've given other exams, right? In case, okay, so you can register for CMAT. There's still time. Then you are taking SNAP. I'm assuming that. So there are other exams also. Don't think that CAT was the last exam out there. Okay. Do not get demotivated and prepare for these exams well. See, we should always try to do the best in the things that we can control. These are the things that you can still control. Okay. All right. Let's come to the next question. So this was an analogy question. I hope nobody thought of B. Okay. B says book and then paper. Book comprises paper, or book is made of paper. We can say that, right? So there's no connection as ink is put in a pen or color is put on a brush. That's why B is not the answer. Let's quickly move to the next question. Synonym. 30 seconds here. So we had to give the synonym for pedantic. That's how this is pronounced, pedantic. Okay, can anybody give me the root of this word pedantic? Okay, I've got one response. Okay, B, all right. A, B, okay. A, all right. B. So a lot of A's and B's. Okay, that's what I have got from you. Now, see this. Pedantic is a word that carries a negative connotation. The word carries a negative connotation. What do I mean by that? It has a negative image associated with it. It's not a positive word. Okay, so I think if you've seen the series Friends, so there we have this character Ross. Ross is good at English, he's good at grammar, right? So he keeps correcting his friends over minor grammatical errors. For instance, who versus whom. There is this scene in the series where he says it's not who, it's whom. Then when Rachel writes a letter to him, there also he corrects that THEIR is there and this THEY apostrophe R is they are. So such people who try to show off their knowledge by correcting you on minor mistakes, they are pedantic. It's a negative word. Okay. So what you are, if let's say you thought of B is used for pedagogy. Good. One of you has just written pedagogy here. Absolutely, Suraj. Pedagogy is what teaching methodology means. Pedantic is somebody who's very finicky. Finicky is the word for such people, who keep on finding minor faults, minor errors. Right? If I go into the root of these words, okay, this word pedant. So pedantic is the adjective. She is a pedantic person. Pedant is the noun. She is a pedant. Okay, she is a pedant. That's the noun. Now the root here is ped, also spelled as paid, which means child or children. Okay, which means child or children. All right. So now pedantic. Somebody who is pedantic. Actually, a pedant earlier used to be referred to a teacher. So teacher क्या करता है? बच्चों को पढ़ाता है. Yes, teaches children. So pedant earlier was used for a teacher, right? And today also it means a strict teacher. Okay. No, wait, that is pedagogue. This one means this only. Okay. Pedant is somebody, yes, who likes to show off their knowledge by finding out minor faults. Pedagogue. Pedagogue is an authoritative strict teacher. An authoritative strict teacher. Okay. So ped here means child. Okay. Pedagogue. This agojos here means to lead. So basically you are leading children. A teacher does that, right? Leads children. So that's what it means. So pedant, pedantic, pedagogue, pediatrician, pedagogy, all of these words have a common root which is ped or paid, which means child. I hope this is clear to you. Okay. Thank you, Rajkumari. Can I explain figures of speech? Okay. Euphemism, oxymoron and metonymy. Sure, Harshini. Let's discuss them. Right. So I hope this is clear to everybody. Let's discuss what Harshini is asking. Euphemism. Okay. So euphemism. So we, instead of saying that a person is physically handicapped, which sounds better to you? If I say that a person is physically handicapped, so handicapped in a way shows a sort of a disability, as if this person is in some way less than us, right? Or people who do not share that disability. So, or if I say that this person is differently abled, if I say this person is differently abled, this sounds better rather than physically handicapped. So differently abled is a euphemism. What is a euphemism? A polite word or term for something that people may find offensive. So instead of handicapped, we say differently abled. Okay. Instead of blind, we prefer visually challenged. Right? Instead of saying she's gone to the toilet, we say she's gone to the restroom. People find that politer. Right? So when you use a politer term to refer to something that people may find offensive, that is a euphemism. Okay. I'm getting some more questions. Yes, special child, correct Shyam. Departed soul. Yes, instead of saying dead, Instead of saying he, let's say he has died, we say he has passed away. He has passed away. Instead of saying the dead person, we call the person the departed soul. Right? These are all euphemisms. Okay. Next, you asked me about oxymoron. Oxymoron. It's an interesting word in itself. Oxymoron. Basically, what this means is that I put two opposite words together, to emphasize something, to bring out a contrast, or to just be dramatic. That's why I use oxymoron. So if I say he's an honest thief, if I'm talking about a thief and I say, that thief has principles, he is an honest thief. He doesn't just rob about anybody, just the rich people. Or he never lies about what all he has stolen. He's an honest thief. So honest, thief. Two opposite words placed together. That's about an oxymoron. Right? So there are a number of oxymorons out there. Can you give me some examples? Yes. Okay, so those are the clouds thundering, rumbling, in case you heard them. So an honest thief, then a rich beggar. Yes, a rich beggar. Then in a novel, I read this beautiful oxymoron, touchingly untouched. She was touchingly untouched at her husband's death. So this novel is The Blind Assassin by Margaret Atwood. Okay, so touchingly untouched. So clear mess, absolutely. Free market. In a way, yes, this is oxymoronic because a market is where you purchase things. Okay, so if I say free in the sense of not having to pay anything, then it is an oxymoron. In case I use free in the sense of freedom, then it is not an oxymoron. Okay, so yes, clear mess. So Neerav, what you are saying, many but few are chosen. So basically, this is not many but few are chosen. Okay, so if I say many are born but few are chosen, or variation here, many come but few are chosen, this you are this is not an oxymoron, right? You are creating a contrast here to produce a striking effect. Yes, it's striking, it captures your attention. Many come but few are chosen. Okay, so this is called antithesis. Antithesis, this is another figure of speech. Okay, so speech is silver but silence is golden. Antithesis, you say something and then you say the, in a way, the something contrasting that to create a very striking effect, an arresting effect. That is antithesis. All right. Okay. Act naturally, correct. Correct. Loving hatred, yes. Yes, Viresh. Antithesis. Thesis means stating something. Antithesis means stating the opposite of it. Okay. So many come, but few are chosen. You say something and then you say something that contrasts it. Speech is silver, silence is golden. Give all men your ear, but few your voice. Okay. All of these are antithesis. All right. Any other thing that you've written here? Okay. Suraj asked me, is martinet equal to pedagogue? Pedagogue is a strict teacher. Martinet is a disciplinarian. So martinet could be, you could have a boss who is a martinet, who is a disciplinarian. It doesn't have to be related to teaching, but pedagogy, pedagogue, they are specifically associated with teaching. Okay. ठीक है. So we were there on pedantic. No, wait. She asked me one more. Euphemism, oxymoron, and metonymy. Right. So what is metonymy? Let's see that also. A new one for, I think, everybody who hasn't read this in junior classes. So meta plus onyma. Meta plus onyma. Onyma is present, see here also. Name. It means name. So synonym is same name. Same name. Right? So language is very interesting this way. You can make connections in terms of roots. Meta means beyond. Okay. So meta is beyond also. Meta also means change. That is one more meaning. Change. So change in the name. किसका name change कर रही हूँ मैं? Let's see. So if I say India won the match. India won the match. Has a whole country won the match or has a team won the match? Let's say the Indian football team, Indian basketball team. It's one team, right? But the two ideas are so closely related, that of a team and that of a country, that instead of writing the Indian cricket team, the Indian football team, I simply say India won the match. This is metonymy. When you substitute one word for the other because they are very closely related, okay, that is metonymy. So if I say the White House has issued these instructions, the White House has issued these instructions. White House is a building. Can it issue instructions? Yes. But you immediately understand what I'm trying to say. If I say the White House has issued these instructions, I'm talking about the President of the United States, right? So the White House has been substituted for the President of the United States. This is nothing but metonymy. If I ask you, have you read Jane Austen? Of course, you can't read a person. Okay, in a literal sense. You can't read a person. So I am talking about the works of Jane Austen, but they are very closely related. So this is metonymy. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you, these three figures of speech. Now, yes, I have another query here. How many questions should I attempt? Okay, so see, if you ask me, well, general English is an area which is easy, right? Because it's scoring, it's time saving, both the things. Why scoring? Because see, grammar is a place where if you have worked till now on grammar, you would have become good at, let's say, sentence correction, error spotting, fill in the blanks. A lot of fill in the blanks were asked in slot one. So that is what makes it scoring. What makes it time saving? Either you know it or you don't know it. So that's why you should try to maximize your score there, right? In my opinion, see, because you have to maximize your overall score. So in case this is your strength, general English is your strength, try to score as much as you can. In case it is not your strength, still try to cull out at least some marks from here. I would say a good score would be 10, at least in my opinion, right? 10 attempts, that's what I'm talking about, not score. 10 questions is what I would say you should attempt with a good accuracy, right? So this is just my opinion here. Okay, it all depends on the kind of paper that you're going to get tomorrow. If you get very easy questions, of course, this is going to go up. If you get very difficult questions, which is relatively unlikely, this is going to go down. Okay. Uh, yes, Sunmeet, absolutely. This is the same way that we say that these orders have come from Delhi. Delhi se order aaya hai ye to. Yes, so that is metonymy only. Correct. Okay. Now apostrophe. Okay, we'll discuss that. We'll discuss that. US or UK English, there was a question. How to identify it? See, it comes from, again, reading. So, for instance, uh, in UK English, in British English, the spellings, let's say the spelling of organize would be SE. Whereas in American English, the spelling would be ZE. Right? So, now how do I know this? Because I have seen both the spellings. Okay, so the more you read, the more you know about, in fact, the more you know about the cultures of the two countries, the better you are at seeing, at guessing, okay, ye a British English hai, ye American English hai. All right. So there's no tip or trick through which you can identify it. It all depends on your knowledge, on how much you've read. All right. Okay. Now, difference between, okay, we have launched into a very lengthy discussion on figures of speech. Let me do one thing. I have a question on figures of speech. I'll tackle apostrophe and synecdoche there. Okay. So let's gather some momentum. Let's attempt a few more questions. When we reach figures of speech, I'll tackle both these. Okay. All right. So now I hope this is clear. The answer was C, finicky. Let's move to our next question. Idiom. Very easy. Interesting also, no? Throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So, of course, the answer is, let's see what you've said. क्या है आंसर बताओ? Okay, absolutely correct. Acha, so one of you said A also, to clean out everything. No, no, no. See, if even if you don't know the meaning of the idiom beforehand, when you read it, you're throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You're not supposed to throw out the baby, right? So you are committing a blunder there, something that you shouldn't do. So you throw out the good things with the unwanted. Okay, that is throwing the baby out with the bathwater. So once I did this, I was just throwing out some cardboard boxes, and my spouse had kept some very expensive medicines in one of the cardboard boxes. But somehow they had landed with all the trash cardboard boxes, and I ended up throwing that. So that is throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Okay. So B is the answer here. Okay. B for BYJU'S. Correct, Danny. Right. Coming to punctuation, fill in the blank. Let's see what you say. Try to stick to the timer. Okay. Khamma Gani Anurag. B is what you say. Akhila, Mohit. Okay. I've also got one A from Shyam. Comma. Okay. All right. So A and B, and mostly B's. That's what I've got. The answer. So why I took up this question, this is from I think 2010, Snap 2010. So pretty old question, but I liked it. Why? Because this is something that you should know in general also. Okay. So there are a couple of terms here. Connecting word. Connecting words are usually your conjunctions are called connecting words. Right? Now independent clauses. Okay. What is this? Clause, phrase. Let's see. A phrase is any group of words. Any group of words out there is a phrase. Okay, it usually makes some sense but not complete sense. So for instance, on the table, in the corner, etc. A clause, on the other hand, is a group of words. Now, this has a very specific grammatical definition with a subject and a verb both. A group of words that has both a subject and a verb. That is a clause. So, for instance, if I say, I told her. Okay, I told her. So, I'm not completing this. I told her what? I'm not telling you this. But even this much is a clause. Why? It has a subject and a verb both. She dances. She dances. See, now this is a clause also, subject and a verb, and this is a complete idea. ये तो पूरा का पूरा sentence भी है. So those clauses that make complete sense, that can act as sentences, that are sentences in fact. So sentences को, so basically वो वाले clauses जिसमें subject verb भी है और जो complete in themselves and they are called independent clauses. Okay, I hope this makes sense. So period is full stop. Yes, period is full stop. Now, let's take two independent clauses. So I saw a movie yesterday. I saw a movie yesterday. And the other clause. So this is a complete idea. Yes, subject, verb, and a complete idea. It's a sentence. It's an independent clause. Okay. It was interesting. It was interesting. Again, a subject, a verb, Again, a complete idea. So it's an independent clause. Now let's say I don't want to keep them as two separate sentences. I feel that these two ideas are so closely related that I shouldn't keep them as two separate sentences. I should make just one sentence out of them. Right? So what are the ways in which I can join them to make them one sentence? Let's see that. Okay. Anurag, एक मिनट अभी ये complete कर लूँ मैं. Also, you will have specific sessions for all your queries regarding colleges, so college versus percentile, all those sorts of sessions you're going to have, okay? So don't worry about it right from now. Abhi exam do, okay? So there are two ways in which I can join it. I saw a movie yesterday. So the first thing that comes to my mind, acha, conjunction laga do aur join kar do. And it was interesting. Let's say I write this. Is this grammatically correct? I saw a movie yesterday and it was interesting. Grammatically correct? Yes or no? Tell me. So, I always have to wait for some seconds because of the lag. It is not grammatically correct. It is incorrect. Okay. Why is it incorrect? Whenever you want to join two independent clauses, a conjunction does not suffice. आपको conjunction से पहले एक comma भी डालना पड़ेगा. Okay. We are talking about a coordinate conjunction here. Coordinate conjunction तेरे तो बहुत technical हो गया. Which conjunctions am I talking about? These conjunctions. Fanboys. So what is fanboys? Let me write it here. For, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. When you want to join two independent clauses and you want to give equal importance to both of them, you make use of what we know as coordinate conjunctions or simply fanboys. अब इन fanboys के साथ आपको एक कॉमा भी लगाना पड़ेगा उससे पहले, तब ये जाके ग्रामेटिकली करेक्ट हो. ठीक है? So this, or in case you think अच्छा इतना झंझट कौन करे, कौन conjunction लगाए, in that case if you simply want to join the two, then you use a semicolon. So I saw a movie yesterday, semicolon, it was interesting, semicolon, it was interesting, it में I small आएगा. ठीक है? I hope this makes sense. So here it said when no connecting word is used to connect two independent clauses, one should use a semicolon. All right. So Rajkumari says, why to elongate the sentence, the idea unnecessarily? Let's say I saw an interesting movie yesterday. Good. So that is, making things concise. But right now we are talking about how to connect them as they are. So either comma and or simply semicolon. B is our answer. Hope this is clear to everybody. I've tried to include more FIBs today. Okay, sentence correction, 1 whole minute. Let me see what you mark. You just have to spot the differences and see which one is correct. The only difference in these 4 options is right in the beginning. So which one is correct? That's what you have to tell me. Okay, so all of you, okay, now I've got 2 C's, but mostly D's. 2 C's, but mostly D's. So D is the answer, absolutely correct. Now, let's see why not C. As anthropologist, when we name someone's profession, no, we say she is a doctor, he is an anthropologist, okay, she is a lawyer, he is a teacher. So an, these are the articles that we use. Okay, so I am now telling you this person's profession. So what I mean to say is he is an anthropologist by profession. But because I wanted to say further and this was not my main idea, I put this as a phrase, and this one now was my independent clause. This was my independent clause, right? He is also a trained classical singer. Now, as anthropologist, we say that, okay, she gave this opinion as an anthropologist. First of all, as anthropologist, nahi, as an anthropologist. She gave this opinion as an anthropologist. As the lead anthropologist on the team, he took charge of the situation. So as an, you can't simply say as anthropologist. This is incorrect. Okay, hope this is clear to everybody. Sentence correction questions, grammar. Yes, the full stop is missing and that was an error. Okay, the full stop should have been there. But the thing is that the others are even more inappropriate. See, this is a lesson for you that in sentence correction or in grammar questions in general, look for punctuation errors towards the very end unless your question instruction specifically asks you to look for them. Okay, so I will ignore this error. I'll ignore this error and look for okay, which is appropriate out of these, right? If, however, my question instructions had told me that we have to look for punctuation errors, then yes, this is a major error. Okay. Otherwise, I look for them towards the very end. Why not B? The anthropologist by profession. No, no. See, I am currently conveying to you what his profession is. So I am saying he is what will you say? Okay. He is a doctor by profession, or he is the doctor by profession. He is a doctor by profession or he is the doctor by profession. A doctor. I am just trying to say उसका वो एक doctor है. उसका profession क्या है? Doctor. So that's why the can't come. All right, all right. So I hope I have read all your queries. Okay, don't understand one of them, tech or something. Right. And yes, because anthropologist, it's a vowel sound. It has to be an, it can't be a. Okay, vowel sound. I think this everybody knows. For vowel sounds, we use an. Okay. Next question. Let's see. A general knowledge and vocabulary question combined. These are all from previous years, okay? All these questions are previous year questions. Okay. All right, Tarun, I'll tell you the difference. B, okay. I think everybody has said B. Absolutely. B is the answer. A baby deer is called a fawn. Okay. Who is a foal? Foal. A baby horse. A baby horse. Okay. Then calf, the young one of a cow. So I am writing a baby cow here. Then Joe. Actually, this should have been Joey, but because it came like this in the exam, so I reproduced it as it is. A Joey is the young one of a kangaroo. A baby kangaroo. A Joe, on the other hand, is used for any ordinary man. So a Joe means an ordinary person, the common person, the common man, right? So an ordinary person. So basically, this was, when Joe Biden, he became the president of the US, this came in the newspaper that how ironical it is that somebody who's referred to as Joe is now the most important person in the US, right? So Joe Biden. And in fact, his wife's name is also pretty common, Jill. So Joe, Jill, such ordinary names, but such important people. So B, fawn. Correct, correct. All of you are correct. Chandan, Rajat, Ashutosh, Riya, Rajkumari, correct. So B is our answer. A general knowledge and a vocabulary question combined. I hope so far things have been clear to you. Another vocabulary, fill in the blank. Let's see what you say. So fear of is, I think, clear to everybody. From phobia. I think all of you must have narrowed down to B and D. Yes? So a cup of Joe, Chandan, that is because Joe is also, it also means coffee. Okay, so that's why it's called a cup of Joe. Now B, D, okay, B, D, B, D, all right. That's what I was expecting also. Now the thing is that fire, it comes from this root pura. Actually, it's a Greek root. The Greeks used to believe that fire is a purifying thing. It purifies you. Okay. So pura became pyre. Okay. From pyre we have fire. Pyrophobia is actually the fear of fire, not the fear of funeral pyres in particular. In general, the fear of fire is called pyrophobia. Okay. So D, Delhi is our answer. Right? Yes. Pyro means fire. Absolutely comes from pura. Okay. Yes, Trump and Joe, both the words have meanings. Yes. A few more lectures in parts of speech or grammar for Snap before the last slot. Okay, we'll try that. Shivam, we also have, I mean, there are some recorded sessions that I already have on grammar. So you can visit my playlist. So you can check in BYJU'S exam prep, there are playlists. So there is one playlist of Nikita Gupta, and there you will see my sessions divided according to topics such as tenses, articles. Okay, so we already have some such sessions, but we'll also try to do what you are saying. Okay, so D is the answer here, and yes, this is clear to everybody. So even such questions can be asked that check your general knowledge plus your vocabulary. Okay. Now, this is a concept that I need to explain to you first. What's a kangaroo word? Okay, so this question came some years back. I think 2011 में आया था ये kangaroo word in Snap. And some students didn't know the meaning of kangaroo word. So that's why they couldn't attempt this question. Okay, so let's look at this word respite. Okay, let's look at this word respite. Respite means rest, relief. Yes. Now, a kangaroo word is a word that has all the letters of another shorter word which happens to be its synonym. It has all the letters of another shorter word which happens to be its synonym. So despite has all the letters of rest in it in that particular order only, right? So despite is the kangaroo word and rest is called the joey word. Rest is called the joey word. These terms are pretty common among logophiles, people who love words, people who love to play Scrabble. Okay, so kangaroo word, joey word. Now in the list that will come in front of you now, there will be one word which is a kangaroo word, meaning that it will have all the letters of a shorter word which will happen to be its synonym. Okay? All right. Yes, Shivam, that playlist is there on YT. Okay, so let's see this. Easy. What do you say? Okay, Siddharth, Rajkumari, Dipali, Rajat, Majestic, Pallavi, PK, My Sluggish Life, all of you in one voice tell me that the answer should be masculine. Absolutely correct. Okay, it has male in it, it also has man in it. Okay, so masculine, male, okay, or man, whichever way you want to perceive it, right? A is the answer. This is the kangaroo word. The joey words would be male or man. Okay. So a new thing that we've learned today, an interesting thing. There are a lot of such interesting things about words. I want you to search about something called contronyms. Okay. Uh, Let me tell you another interesting thing. We were discussing oxymorons. Yes. So you would be surprised to know, in case some of you don't, that the word oxymoron, if you break it up etymologically, that itself is an oxymoron. Oxus means wise, moron means fool. Okay, so etymologically, this word means a wise fool. Okay, so such words are called autologous words. Autologous words. Okay, children is a kangaroo word and children is a kangaroo word and child is joey. Is that would that be a synonym? Mm, of children? No, no. Children would not be a kangaroo word, I think. Because then, in that sense, all the plurals would happen to be kangaroo words and all their singular words would happen to be joey words. We can't say that. Okay. Children का अगर उसमें इसका plural का ही कुछ synonym निकल के आ रहा होता है ना, let's say kids निकल के आ रहा होता है, let's say, then I would have said that okay, this is a kangaroo word. Okay. Odd one out. Yes, this is a memory based question from Snap 2019. I'll take up your queries, don't worry. Okay, odd one out. Let's see what you've marked. Is what everybody says, exacerbate. Absolutely correct. Exacerbate is the odd one out here. Okay, why not alleviate? Yes, I remember I was doing with some other student, doing this with some other students. Okay, there was this session on the app, and a lot of them said alleviate also. Poverty alleviation programs. Whenever you get confused with the about the meaning of alleviate, no, always remember this: poverty alleviation programs. That's where I read this word for the first time in school. Right? Now, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to lessen poverty or increase poverty? They are supposed to lessen it. Right? Mitigate also means when you try to lessen the impact of something in the future. Assuage, when you assuage a fight, you try to, make both the parties cool down. Yes? So, again, all of these are going in this direction. Exacerbate a fight on the other hand. If you just go and exacerbate a fight, that means aap aag lagakar aa gaye. Right? You have worsened the fight. So to worsen a situation is exacerbate. Okay. Alleviate is to reduce. Absolutely correct. The meanings of these words, alleviate is to, let's say, reduce something. In what sense? Basically, you are trying to uplift people, to reduce something negative so that people can be uplifted. Okay, to uplift, to reduce something negative. Mitigate, disaster mitigation programs, disaster mitigation measures. When you again try to lessen the impact of something. Okay, lessen the impact of something, or you take measures to prevent it from happening in the future. That is mitigate. In critical reasoning questions also, you must have seen questions. Which one of them would mitigate the validity of the argument? That means would lessen the validity of the argument, right? Assuage, again, to when you try to make the situation less worse. Okay, when you try to weaken the impact of something. Again, something negative, uska impact आप weaken कर रहे हो, that is when you assuage. Exacerbate, you worsen. Okay, yes. Uh, Assuage is yes, pacify, you could say that. Absolutely. So A is the answer here. Let me see what you've typed in the comments. ठीक है, correct. Now, you had some queries earlier. Kangaroo words ka meaning, right? Chandan was asking me. See, Chandan, kangaroo words are those words. Kangaroo words, it's basically, I explained it through this respite. So this word has letters, has all the letters of a shorter word which happens to be this word synonym also. है ना? Rest is a synonym of respite. It happens to have all the letters of this word, and that too in this particular order only. इसी order में, that is also important. It should have them in this particular order only, right? So this one is a kangaroo word. ये इसमें से एक baby word निकल कर आया है जो इसी का synonym है. इसको बोलते हैं joey word. ठीक है, because the young one of a kangaroo is called a joey. This is the concept. Okay, then one of you asked me, Acha, Dipali answered that yes, contronyms are words that have two contradictory meanings. Words that have two contradictory meanings. Absolutely correct. Like sanction. She sanctioned my leave. So she approved my leave. We have imposed a number of sanctions on that country. We have imposed a number of prohibitions or bans on that country. So two entirely opposite meanings. That means the word sanction is a contronym. A word carrying contradictory meanings. So language is very interesting and very vast this way. Yes, let's come to word association. Usually asked in MyCat, this has been asked in Snap as well. Yes, tell me. Right. So I've got one meaning here. Okay. B, C. Okay. All right. All right. B or C. That's what we think cannot be coupled. So newsletter, newspaper, everybody immediately made the connection. What's a newsstand? Yes. A newsstand. We used to have one, near our school. So it's a stall for the purchase of newspapers. A stall, a stand of sorts where you can purchase newspapers. So that's a newsstand. Newsweek is actually a program that is run on a particular channel. I've forgotten the name. That's the name of a program. Otherwise, there's nothing called Newsweek. This is not a word. Okay, various channels have created this word to name their programs, Newsweek. So that's why B is the answer here. Okay. Now somebody was asking what is a compound word. See, news and letter. When I joined them together, I formed a word newsletter. Yes, this is one single word also, newsletter. So this is a compound word now formed from two words. Sunlight. Sun plus light. I joined them, it became sunlight, wherein both the individual words also remained, but it became a new word. Then you can form compound words using hyphens also. Let's say anti-government or anti-national, very popular, right? Anti-government. So this is now a compound word. Okay. The 10-armed goddess, a compound word, right? So these are compound words. Yes, correct, Jigar, Ria. And B is the answer here, cannot be coupled word association. So Snap has asked different questions as well. Okay, simile. Here we come to figures of speech. Let's see what you say. As fresh as a daisy. As fresh as a daisy. Okay. A, B, all right. I was expecting this. So, as red as a rose, as red as a rose, as fresh as a daisy. Okay, that's how it is. So basically, daisies are something that you see in the morning. So that's why freshness is associated with daisies. Okay, as fresh as a daisy. That's why A. That's how it is. And I haven't made it up. Okay, now you were asking about apostrophes and synecdoches. Let's look at them once. So, apostrophe, a very interesting figure of speech, but it's usually used in theaters and plays and programs. So, when the character seems to be talking to someone absent from the scene, when the character talks to someone absent from the scene, or maybe even dead, that is called apostrophe. Okay, so for instance, if let's say there is a woman and her husband has passed away and she is directly addressing him and is saying, "Oh, John, why did you leave me? Why did you leave me here alone?" That's apostrophe. Okay, in Ramayana, I love to give this example. When Sita has been kidnapped, so Ram goes to forests and he's just murmuring and saying, "Hey Sita, kahan gayi tum?" So that is apostrophe. When you talk to someone or something, sometimes you personify things and talk to them, but they are not present on the scene. ये एक quality है, the thing or the person that you're talking to has to be absent from the scene, could even be dead. Okay, now another, so this is a punctuation mark. Punctuation mark is different altogether, don't get confused. और ये figure of speech भी है, apostrophe. Synecdoche. So you asked me this. Now, synecdoche is actually a special type of metonymy only. Okay, so a lot of language experts say that synecdoche is a special type of metonymy. What is that special type? If I tell you, have you seen my new wheels? Have you seen my new wheels? What am I talking to you about? Yes, my new wheels. किस चीज की बात कर रही हूं मैं? Tell me quickly. My car. Absolutely correct. I'm talking to you about my car. So, here I substituted car with wheels. Right? So, in that sense, it is a metonymy. But what makes it a synecdoche, a special type of metonymy? When there is a whole part relationship, a physical whole part relationship between the things that have been substituted, that is when it becomes a synecdoche. A wheel uska part hai na car ka. Right, so that's why it's a synecdoche. I want all hands on deck today. This is an idiom also. I want all hands on deck today. Okay, that means I want everyone to help today. So for a, let's say, laborer or for labor, I've said hands, helping hands. Okay, so that is a synecdoche. Then if I say mm, if I say this one, hands, she has too many mouths to feed. She has too many mouths to feed. Mouths to feed. Again, mouths. I have used mouths for people who are dependent. Whole part relationship. अब whole part relationship कैसे? वो आपका actually में physical part है ना, आपका hand, आपका mouth. So जब ये physical whole part relationship आ जाता है, that is when we call it synecdoche. Hope this is clear. Right? Okay. Absolutely correct. Now, let's go to another fill in the blank, vocabulary fill in the blank. This is a previous year question. Let me see what you say. A previous year question again. This should be reality. Okay. All of you say C. Absolutely correct. Okay. Realia. Okay, realia. It means when I pick up something, some everyday common things around me and I use them as teaching aids. So let's say I want to explain radiation, the phenomenon of radiation to you. So I pick up my room heater and I start explaining radiation to you through that. So that then would become my realia. Okay. So this suffix alia, this is used for objects, things, material, right? Paraphernalia also has it. Paraphernalia. So if I say the doctor came with all his paraphernalia, that means all the equipment and things and materials that you would expect the doctor to have, right? Sorry, that's a power outage, but I hope I'm still connected to you. Okay. Next question, sentence correction. I'll answer that, Shivam. Okay, so I'm back. So I've got your response as C. All of you, okay, one of you says D as well. Right. Okay. C or D. Confused between these two. They appear to be close, but there is a difference. Compare their teaching method with their own. अपना ही अपने आप से कैसे compare करेगी? Compare their teaching method with their own does not make sense. Yes? Okay. Then what is the difference between these two? The teachers will be able to visit our schools, will be able to pay a visit to our schools and compare teaching methods for their own. So multiple errors. Good. Nobody has marked B. Okay. Now the teachers will be able to visit our schools and compare our teaching methods to their own or with their own. You compare something with something. Okay. So the answer is C here. I hope the difference is clear to you. Here, in this and this, A and C, the only difference was to and with. With is the correct one. Okay, C is our answer. Alright, good. Nobody is marked A. That's good. And I have a question here. Shivam has asked, this is he or me or him? So he or me तो अलग अलग ही बात होगी ना. That means you want to say something else. Let's see this. This is he or him. Yes, what should you say? This is he or him. This is him. This is he. So if you have attended my class on pronouns, if you have read pronouns in detail, then this is what is the correct answer. It comes as a shock to many students because they think it should be him. In our usual spoken conversations, we say him only. Nobody says he. But actually, if you look at the structure of this sentence, I don't have a subject here. This तो subject नहीं है, definitely ये तो dummy subject है, ये verb है, right? Is तो अगर मैं यहाँ पे भी him लगा देती हूँ, him is an object, him is not the subject. I need a subject in this sentence. I don't need an object, and that's why it should be this is he. Okay. Similarly, you could ask me if it should be this is I or this is me. Or instead of this, if you want to be more formal, okay, if let's say I say who is at the door, usually people say it's me, मैं हूँ, it is me. Actually they should say it is I. This is correct because again it तो नहीं है subject, definitely is verb है, तो कौन है फिर? I am there at the door. Okay, not me am there at the door. So this is I. So hope this is clear to you, Shivam. This is I or this is he. When we, yes, this is she, this is he. Correct, Shrish. Absolutely. This is she, this is he. Okay. So C is our answer here. All right. So we have done a good sentence correction question. It involved prepositions. Okay. It involved pronouns. Right. So hope this is clear to you. Error spotting, because grammar is important. An error spotting question here. Let's see what you say. The last couple of questions, these are, so I want full participation. Okay. So see eye to eye, had, influence over. Okay, this should have come here. A great many followers. This is not underlined here. Anyway, this should have come here. Yeah. So let's see what you say. You were. Roshan, it should be you were. Always you were. No doubt there. Okay. A, B, C. I've got multiple responses here. Okay. 3 B's, 3 C's. Okay. 4 B's now. Alright. So, yes, you have an influence over someone. That's fine. There is no error here. Seeing eye to eye means that basically your views don't match. If you see someone eye to eye, right, that means your views match on a particular matter. If you don't see them eye to eye, usually we use it in the negative. That means your views do not match. So this is also fine. This is erroneous here. Why a double had? क्यों लगाना है double had? Okay, that he had tremendous influence. I want the simple past here. I don't need the past perfect. So he had tremendous influence over a great many followers, right? And that's why the answer is B here. That is the wrong one. Influence over someone is also fine. Okay, to have influence over someone is also correct. No error here. Okay. All right. Now, another grammar question. Let's see what you say for this. My daughter and Anushri says B, Meet says A, B, C, all right, D. So multiple responses. Okay. Why 2? D क्यों mark कर रहे हैं हम? The rest went directly to my daughter and myself too. Why this 2? Not required. Redundancy. Okay. Now, the thing is, went directly to, see, you would ask this question that, let's say I sent some sweets through you to a neighbor. So you came back and you told me that, okay, I have given the sweets. So I ask you, to whom did you give them? To whom did you give them? किसको देकर आए थे? That's what I'll ask you, no, to whom, not who. To whom did you give them? So to whom did the rest of it go? To whom did the rest of the money go? To whom did the rest of the money go? So see, again I am using whom here, not who. तो जब whom use होता है तब object use होता है. Object. To my daughter and me, not I, not A here. Okay. Sorry. The rest went directly to my daughter and me. What is the grammatical logic behind it? To is a preposition. To is a preposition. Prepositions in grammar exist as phrases, as groups of words. Preposition के बाद हमेशा कुछ होता है, देखना. On table, on the table, let's say. On the table. So on the table. Preposition plus a noun or a pronoun. You'll always find a noun or a pronoun after the preposition. This noun or pronoun after the preposition will always be in the objective case. ये हमेशा object होगा. Me होगा, I नहीं होगा. Him होगा, he नहीं होगा. Right? That is the rule. Prepositions exist as phrases, and these phrases comprise of a preposition plus a noun or a pronoun, which is called the object of this preposition. Okay. So I hope बहुत ज़्यादा ज्ञान नहीं हुआ है. ठीक है. So let's see. Influence on, influence over, both are fine. My grandfather left what? Actually, object इसमें क्या है? Object of the verb. If you want to see puja, it should be money. The object is money. My grandfather left what? Money. So money is the object of the verb. Daughter and me are the object of this preposition too. Objects दो टाइप के होते हैं, verb, preposition. इतना आपको बहुत ज्यादा nitty-gritties में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. You just have to understand this, that after a preposition, if I have a noun or a pronoun, they will always be in the object form. ठीक है? So to my daughter and me. Okay, analysis of the SNAP exam. Most likely Pranav sir will take the analysis. Right? I am taking slot 3 of SNAP. Okay, not tomorrow. Available for such grammar concepts. Specific lectures available. For grammar concepts, yes, actually there have been a lot of grammar sessions. So I have taken some, Savitri ma'am has taken some. So you'll have to just browse through some of the playlists and you'll find them. Okay. All right. So this was our last question for the day. I hope I have answered your query. Okay. Some queries coming up. When to use myself? A good question. See, myself is a reflective pronoun. It's a reflective pronoun. Okay, so what do I mean by reflective? See, also called a reflex pronoun, reflexive pronoun. So multiple names there. Now, if I say I hurt myself, let's say I was chopping some veggies and I cut my finger. So I hurt myself. When the same person is the doer of the action and the same person is the receiver of the action, then for the receiver, you use the reflexive pronoun. आप क्या use करते हो? Reflexive pronoun. I hurt myself. She loves herself. He hates himself. Okay, same person doer, same person receiver. That is one usage. Another usage is when you want to specifically emphasize. I myself did this. I did this myself, all by myself. आप I did this भी बोलते तो मुझे clear हो जाता. But when you say I did this myself, you are just stressing. कि देखो किसी ने help नहीं करा. So, in this capacity, it is called an emphatic pronoun. So, 2 uses, reflexive pronoun, emphatic pronoun. ठीक है? I hope You'll apply all this gyan in the exam. So, Shyam, is it clear to you now? Where do we use I? When? Okay. Mock, no. Pallavi, don't attempt a mock today. Don't take a mock today. Okay. No normalization. Snap has specifically announced that no normalization will happen. Okay. We use I when we need the subject. We use I when we need the subject. Okay. So, for instance, I told you when you knock at the door and someone asks you who is it, you should say it is I. It is I. Okay. Then if I say she's taller than, she's taller than, me नहीं आएगा यहाँ पे, I आएगा because you're trying to say she's taller than I am. आप she को compare कर रहे हो, subject को. You should compare it to the subject, right? So these are the circumstances where we would use I. Hope this makes sense. Roshan? All right. How to prepare for English? Khush, focus on grammar. Okay. I'll in fact give some last minute tips today wherein again I'll stress on this that tomorrow you have to focus on everything. Okay. Grammar and vocabulary. But at the preparation stage, in these few days, if you're taking slot 3, focus on grammar more. Why? Because it's possible to actually, brush up the rules of grammar in this limited time frame. Vocabulary also, yes, do go for vocabulary lists that are there. So word par would be difficult to complete in just a few days. So I can suggest this app called Vocabulary Builder by Magush, right? So go through it has 3 lists: basic, intermediate, and difficult. And these are, it presents them as a quiz. So interesting bhi ho jata hai. So vocabulary ke liye ye at least, okay, and grammar. Go through the basic concepts and attempt as many questions as you can. So solve through questions. You can, as I said, see the previous lectures, the various playlists, okay, that are available for grammar. These 2 things you have to do. Okay. All right. Colleges, we'll have a special session for colleges. Don't ask me about colleges right now. Grammar before slot 3 done. Shivam, I'll raise this with our team. Okay. We'll have 2 sessions. Any tips for those who are going tomorrow? I have a session in the evening, Sakshi, last minute tips. I'll see you at 7 p.m. It's a multi-stream session, so you'll be able to see it on YouTube as well. I'll give you all the last minute tips there, okay? Yes, Rajkumari, I understand this. This is something that's very common. In fact, if you say she's taller than I, na, किसी के सामने वो सोचेगा आप गलत बोल रहे हो. But that is the correct one. Possibility of RC is pretty low because it didn't come in slot 1 and they are saying there's not going to be any normalization. So I don't think there are going to be RCs in slot 2 and slot. Okay. All right. Grammar, everything is important. I can't say that something is less important than the other, right? There are 8 parts of speech. All those parts of speech are important. Okay. So I hope this session helped you. If you found value in it, please do like, share, subscribe. Okay, this helps us a lot in increasing our reach. In case you want to join a PI VARC program, nothing better than this. Okay. And yes, there are these batches that are running, a list of our team members. And yes, do follow us, particularly on our Telegram channel. Okay. I'll see you in the evening. Hold on to your queries. We'll meet again in the evening. You can ask me those then. Okay. All right. Bye. All the very best to all of you. All my wishes are with you. Okay. Stay calm and maximize your score. Bye. Welcome.